Chapter 7. Sindbad the Sailor. Sindbad was a prince and one of the richest princes of the Orient. He had a longing desire to become a sailor. Sindbad would spend hours sitting at the palace window and watching the port where ships and fishermen's boats used to come in and go out. He wanted to explore the seas and go around the world. For this, he decided to give up his life of opulence and wealth. His love for the sea would draw him to the port and mingle with the fishermen and the sailors, and he loved to listen to the exciting and adventurous stories of the sea. These stories boosted his imagination even more. He would dream of being captain of a great ship. "Once I caught a big whale with a harpoon," said an old mariner. "I collected 1,000 pearls after diving for hours," said another mariner. Sindbad would always dream of his eye at sea full of adventures. As he grew up, he became more and more restless to accomplish his dream. So one day he went to his father, the king, and revealed his desire to be a sailor. To his surprise, the king readily agreed. The king had observed that his son was not interested in matters of state but interested in the seas. The king said, "Yes, my son, your wishes shall be fulfilled. Take the required money you want to purchase the best ship available." Sindbad was overjoyed and approached the best ship builder for his ship. The ship was built and it was a very strong vessel. He named it the Victorious. Sindbad recruited experienced sailors for his long voyage. A few days later, the vessel was ready to set sail. The monument of laughing arrived finally, and there was much celebration. His father wished him luck on his maiden voyage. Sindbad bid farewell to his father, and the Victorious sailed out to the sea majestically. The royal flag fluttered high on the mast. Sindbad proved himself to be a great sailor and captain. His adventures at sea became famous among all the kings and princes. His fame spread across the 7 seas. But misfortune can occur any day, as all days are not alike. One day on a long trip on the high seas, when the sailors were tired after a day's work and were sunning themselves on the deck, a sailor posted at the mainmast suddenly cried out, "Land ahead!" The ship was heading towards the land, which happened to be a small flat island. Sindbad thought that they discovered a new island because, according to their calculation, they had still to sail 2 days more to reach dry land. The sailors of Sindbad prepared to get down on the new land by rope ladder. As soon as Sindbad and some sailors got down, using the rope ladder to explore the new land, the land itself began to move from side to side. To their horror of horrors, they discovered that it was not an island, but the back of an enormous whale. Sindbad and his sailors were thrown into the swirling waters. In a moment, the Victorious broke into pieces and sank. The giant whale too disappeared into the depth, throwing Sindbad and others into the huge waves. Sindbad could not realize what was happening around him. All the sailors were gone, perhaps drowned. Luckily, he saw a big plank of wood coming up and floating near him in the chaos. He swam towards it and caught it tightly to stay afloat. He remained like this for 3 days without food and water. He felt he would die, as he was very exhausted. Suddenly, he saw on 4th day a dark strip of land on the distant horizon. But he was too exhausted and fell asleep. He did not know how long he slept, but when he was awoke, he found himself lying on the shore of an unknown island. He was too tired to open his eyes and lay on the sand most of the day. Slowly he stood up and walked some distance. The island was full of fruits and he satisfied his hunger. He first thought to find out the inhabitants of the island. Good people must inhabit this beautiful island, he thought. He reached a pond around which there were many trees and some tall rocks. Suddenly, 2 fierce-looking armed guards stopped his way. "Halt!" cried out one of them. "Don't move a single step. Who are you?" "I am Sindbad the sailor. I wish to know where I am." The guards gave no answer. Instead, they forced him to go with them. Soon they reached a palace in the midst of a dense group of all trees behind a hillock. After passing through many doors of the palace, Sindbad was in the presence of the Maharaja. "Master," said one of the sentinels, "we have tied this young man because he entered our land without permission." Sindbad narrated to the king the circumstances under which he reached the shore of this island after the Victorious sank into the sea. "Oh, so you are the famous sailor Sindbad," said the king. "Accept my welcome. You are on the Isle of Orissa. I am the Maharaja of Kittipur. You can take rest in my kingdom till you feel well. I am eager to learn about your famous adventures," said the king. Next day, Sindbad narrated many of his adventures at sea to the king. The Maharaja said to Sindbad after he listened to his adventures, "Ah, I see you are extremely brave and intelligent. I am sure that what you must desire is to go back to the sea. I will help you to achieve your wish, but now you must take some rest." He arranged for a very comfortable stay for Sindbad in his palace. Next day, the Maharaja himself accompanied Sindbad to the harbour. He introduced Sindbad to the skipper of a big ship. The skipper agreed to take Sindbad to his country. He said, "Sindbad can sail with me on all the seas of the world. I can promise that many new adventures await the great sailors." After taking leave of the Maharaja and thanking him for all his kindness, Sindbad embarked on new adventures.